hopes that it will turn into real physical attraction, which is sex. Only you.
Do you wanna go first? I'm fearful.
Hey guys, welcome to Little Black Book. You already know what time it is. Are you mad? Are you mad? Are you lean? You ain't got the minerals. You ain't got the minerals. Gay. Make sure you like, share, subscribe, and you already know what time it is, baby. Sweet Alabama, sweet Alabama. Oh my God. Listen, my things. Alright, let me get deep into this straight away. I'm not going to waste no time. Now, you guys have been watching my reviews on Will and Jasmine for the whole season. You know, I've been a bit hard on Jasmine, you know, because I've been saying that certain things that she's not been doing correctly. But I always like to give both sides. I like to try and be fair as possible. So, you know, I'm again presenting that particular, you know, two sides to every story kind of thing on this channel. Hey, make sure you like, subscribe, you know. Alright, listen, so let's get into the video. First thing I want to say is obviously, opening scene for them starts off in the house. Jasmine is wearing something sexy, and I'm not gonna lie, she was looking back for me, looking banging, looking tasty. When I saw the lace, I was like, God have mercy. I said, fam. And listen, so obviously there she was looking delectable. Do you understand? Obviously then she's cooking, and rightly so. Will's gonna ask, "What do you want?" Now let me tell you why he's asking that. Because men and women do this all the time. When they want something, just like when you're a kid, you start doing certain things which are out of your normal behavior.
Let me ask you this: what you want?
What do I want?
Yeah, you might be looking for a new car or something.
I know.
We can tell. And so when she's obviously putting on a sexy dress and obviously cooking as well, he's wondering, what is it you want out of me? And he jokes about a car. I'm sure he knows what she wants, but he's joking about the car. Cool. You know, it's nice to see how she's cooking as well, and he's enjoying food too. It's not a problem at all. So she comes and sits down. They're now talking at the table, and then Jasmine then asks him,
fancy.
So, what makes you happy?
Making other people happy makes me happy. Knowing that I did something that leaves a lasting impact.
So you know, like what's made you sad about relationships or whatever, And so they start having a bit of an intellectual conversation. And when I say intellectual, a conversation that's meaningful, okay? One that involves your mind having to be used, okay? And at first you see that Will's still eating when he first asks the question. But halfway through, he's now sitting up.
Is there anything?
Actually, a couple of them. And it was just like, well, why didn't they want me? Why did they want to break up? You know, then I had the feeling of I was inadequate. Just manifested in the negative energy.
One, I'm going to notice this as well. There's two things that happen here. At first, when I watched it, I said, it's definitely because obviously the conversation is intellectual and that he's sitting up now because he's attentive to it and he's responding and letting her know, oh, I'm interested in what you're talking about, you know. Like, let's talk about this. This sounds good, yeah. This is what I've been wanting from you. And so he's presenting himself, come forward. Like was, when Jasmine has finished the conversation, are you intellectually stimulated? You don't need to ask that question. You know he is. You can see it in him. Do you know what I'm saying? Just continue the conversation. Let it be natural. But when you ask that question, what happens is you put a buck stop. Do you know what I'm saying?
With all the questions and everything, and nice dinner to set the mood, if you will, do you feel intellectually stimulated?
And I felt like it stopped the flow in it. But cool. They continued onwards. They've gone to the bedroom now. As they've gone to the bedroom, she said, darling, let's focus on this kissing challenge. Now, again, I wish this is where the experts really need to get involved, but I'll say why. So Jasmine comes in, gets in the bed, and then obviously they're talking about the kissing challenge, and obviously Will's obviously, you know, he's responding to it. He's saying, all right, cool, gotta go ahead of it. They kiss.
So I thought it would be a good idea before bed to do the kissing exercise we got from the experts. Darling, we have to do homework. This is a homework assignment to challenge us to kiss each other.
After, she says, you know, I like the kiss, and then, you know, ask him what is his opinion. When you're asking what his opinion is, you got to be ready for whatever they're going to give you. You get me? Now, he never said she was a bad kisser. He just said it was slightly awkward. And I'm not going to lie to you, when I was watching it, it was slightly awkward. Slightly awkward. Yeah? Just because it wasn't natural. And he said it himself. It wasn't natural because, you know, and he made it plain, you're a physical touch, feely kind of person. Me personally, I'm an intellectual talking kind of guy. Now, Jasmine took it the wrong way, and I understand why. Because if you don't understand what he just said, which you didn't, and I wish that you just said you didn't understand. Sometimes we pretend as if we understand. We think we understand because we heard, but we haven't really heard. So we haven't understood. Because if she had, she would have been like, okay, I get what you're saying now. But she didn't understand that. So she understands that, look, you're rejecting me. That's what she's understanding, you're rejecting me. But what he's saying is, this will naturally fester. And we said it, those of us who said he's a sapiosexual, congratulations, pat on your back. Let me know down below if you said he was a sapiosexual. You are correct, he is. He said it himself. Listen, I need that intellectual stimulation before I find you attractive. Oh, sorry, before I even find the need to pursue in that sexual manner. Do you get what I'm saying?
So mine's is intellectual intimacy, and that kind of starts to open up that. So I like kissing. Mm-hmm. So like if we were just sitting here talking mm-hmm. first and then kind of, you know, mm-hmm. organically kind of kiss, that's where, like I said, it has to be tied to something to me.
So he said if it had continued on with a natural conversation, then it would have led on to that. So again, it's not for Jasmine to get angry about. It's again just a learning curve that, oh, he feels like this. Now I know she wants him to flick her switch and everything like that. But already when you started the dinner thing, you started with a motive to get him to a certain place. Finish the job. You know what I'm saying? I didn't even like the fact that you were doing the cooking thing and everything, because it's almost like I've got to do that every time before I want to get you to a certain place. When it's really just about learning about each other. You see, you want him to flip your switch, but you don't understand him. So when you flip the switch and he flips your switch, what happens is you run on the language of sex rather than run on the language of I understand you. And so a lot of people, not Jasmine alone, a lot of us do this. It's easier to have sex because we understand that language than it is to have actually a conversation about how you truly feel. See, you really hurt me. I need to tell you that. But rather than me telling you that, I have sex with you and I harbour it, and I'm expecting you to know by reading my mind. Just let the person know that you're hurt by the behaviour. Do you know what I'm saying? But we use sex as a way of communicating and then expect someone to read our minds. It don't work like that. I must say, I'll commend Jasmine because she did try to at least now try to get to know him on an intellectual level. She heard him and she made a movement. Let's continue that forward. I like that. You know what I'm saying? That's progressive. And I really appreciate that, Jasmine. Remember I said it to you as well, Will doesn't talk that much, yeah? And what I've noticed, because he doesn't talk that much, because unless the conversation is going to an intellectual stimulating place, he ain't talking, cuz. You know what I'm saying? So when he does talk, you got to pay attention. So what she did was today at the dinner table was she drew out the conversation in him. And so he started talking. And you notice how, and I wanted you to notice something. Listen. This is when I know people are not good listeners. And Jasmine's one of those people. Because she's not the only one. A lot of people do this. They're not used to listening. So now when they've been tasked to listen and ask questions, the timing of the question doesn't come through correctly. So he's talking about how, you know what, when he was at ball and he couldn't contain his emotions and da-da-da-da.
It makes me happy knowing that I did something that leaves a lasting impact on a person and, you know, left them as a better person.
Okay. Have you ever had times where a past relationship or something made you feel sad or anything?
Actually, a couple of them. And it was just like, well, why didn't they want me? Why did they want to break up? You know, then I had the feeling of I was inadequate. Just manifested in the negative energy playing ball. Somebody's fouling me, like I'm ready to fight. It was almost like I couldn't control my emotions, almost like.
And what made you come out of it?
And then she interrupted him with another question, thinking that that's what she's meant to be doing, as in to get him to talk. But the timing was off. And so what you watch his face goes...
It was almost like I couldn't control my emotions, almost like.
And what made you come out of it?
Just
because he hadn't finished. But because he's getting at least something that he's wanting, at least a little something, he's not saying anything. He doesn't want to cause an argument, like, at least he's getting something. There's some effort there. But I noticed the face change, and I said, the face is changing because she didn't let him finish. She didn't let him land. You know what I'm saying? So as he was, and I also this, people who are trying to explain how they feel and how their emotions work, yeah, when you cut them off, you stop the flow of their conversation, and it's hard enough for them to even get going, and then you've got them into a place where they're going, and then you stop them. Imagine running at full speed and someone just stopping you. It's painful. You understand? You can pull a muscle that way. So we don't want no one to do that. Let the person keep on flowing. Let them come to a natural end of the stop. You know what I'm saying? Then ask your question again. And also to be more in the case, or I say, be more in the case of the fact that, you know what, you want to, how do I say this? Okay, so you want to be able to, you want to be able to understand Will. And when he was at the dinner table, he was saying obviously how he's been hurt and everything like that. And what I understood was that, okay, now it makes sense. So he wants to make sure that Jasmine doesn't just want him for the body, but he wants him for the mind. And he's clocked that for him. The mind is most important, because if you love the mind, you'll love the body. Do you get me? Because we love the body because of the mind. Do you know what I'm saying? So he started to, for him, he makes sure that he pushes the mind first. So whenever she doesn't talk to the mind, the body of his won't respond, because he's learned that when people want the body, they might not want the mind. And to not want the mind is a rejection of you. The real you is not the body, you know. The real you is your mind. If, you got a sexy body, and every time I want to have sex with your body, but then I don't connect with your mind, you're going to feel to a certain point, this guy doesn't really want me. He wants what it is, my body, the container, the vessel. It's not really me. We all like that. You know what I'm saying? Obviously, they just come from two different worlds, and they just need some time, I guess, alone, and really, I'm not even alone. They need some time with the experts to explain both of their sides appropriately. Because when it got to the car scene, they later on got to the car scene, I can see Jasmine's pissed. Jasmine is pissed, and I understand why she's pissed. I'm not gonna cuss her. I understand why she's pissed.
I'm 3 miles above the speed limit.
Don't rush to get there, I guess.
There's a lot of tension in the car, and I definitely feel like I need to address the elephant.
You know, and you know she's pissed because she's got the sunshades on in the car. It's not very bright. Okay, she's looking at her phone, so head's down, looking at her phone. She's not paying. She wasn't really giving any eye contact over to Will at first until he started speaking. Right? She was embedded into what she was doing. She didn't want to know what he was saying. Get me?
A bit awkward. Your intimacy is physical. So mine's is intellectual intimacy, and that kind of starts to open up that. So I like kissing.
And you have to think to yourself, it's not nice when someone tells you that, you know what, the kiss was awkward. Because everybody wants to be the one that's like, the kiss is amazing, or they want to be the one that the person thinks you're the most amazing person in the world. We want to feel special. We want to feel loved by someone. Do you get me? We all want that. Do you know what I'm saying? There's nothing unnatural about it. So obviously he goes to explain to her in the car about how he was feeling, and I really rate Will for that, because I think it's a case of like he's trying to see now. I feel like he's trying to be more understanding of her as well, and by having that conversation and not just leaving it in the air, but wants to have that communication. So he tries to explain. So he's like, look, do you know what? Let's talk about it. Do you get what I'm saying? And I can see that Jasmine still wasn't listening or perking up until he said about the kiss thing and said, obviously, look, did you not hear me say about a good kisser? She said no. And I thought, trust Jasmine not to hear that, because as human beings, we do it all the time, where we turn off when we hear something good about us. When we've heard something negative, we often hear the negative first, and so we only remember the negative. So the person said, you know, you're sick of what you do, but you know what, when you hear the but, then you know what, your mind just focuses on the but, you know what, Do you know what I'm saying? And it's natural, it happens. So I can understand why she probably didn't remember. But then obviously when he says, she got soft lips, you know, she rises. I see her head turn to him to talk, and I realize, you know what? Sometimes when you're angry, the Bible talks about, you know, soothing words are able to calm down a man that's angry. Like, the soothing words can calm someone's anger down. Do you get me? That's why some people are so annoying to you. You know that you can't even be angry at them for long, because they come with soothing words.
Maybe I put it in the wrong order. I should have started out like, oh, you're a great kisser, and like you said, maybe even like, oh, I kind of felt you know, like your lips are soft, and et cetera, like went more in detail of that, and then you could have sprinkled in the whatever, and you probably wouldn't even be an issue at this point if I would have did that. You would have probably just been like, oh yeah, it was. Like, you'd probably be in almost agreement, like, yeah, it was a little awkward, but.
And the Bible says the word is like water, it washes the wife. So like, if you use a word in a way that is able to cool the person down, then fam, you wash that person, that fire that person's feeling, and cool the whole process down. You get me? And you know, when he said this off this, she stopped texting as well. So now her focus and attention was now on him.
And then you could have sprinkled in the whatever, and you probably wouldn't even be an issue at this point if I would have did that. You would have probably just been like, oh yeah, it was. Like you probably be in almost agreement. Like yeah, it was a little awkward, but
She wants to sort this out. Do you get what I'm saying? But there's pride in everybody, including him. Do you know what I'm saying? So it's understandable that she decided not. She only decided to turn when she heard the kissing thing and the lips. And then obviously she mentioned about the fact that she felt like he was using the mental stimulation as a crux or the reason why not to get intimate. And really, again, this is why I said the experts need to get involved, because that's not the case. Like, he really genuinely believes in that particular thing, and so he's not going to do what you want until you understand that point of view. Which I feel she will get there if the experts can just talk to her and say, listen, this is how he feels, you know. Let's explain to you what this really means. It doesn't mean he doesn't want you. It just means that stimulate his mind and he will stimulate your body. You understand? Because even in the car, even though, you know, he mentioned attention, he was quite calm. His body language was quite open. His body language, even though he was driving, was quite relaxed. So for him, he wasn't stressed. And I guess he's trying to promote that and try to actually have that discussion with Jasmine to kind of like get to that point that they need to, which is to both understand each other. So I believe that there's some good things here, and I believe that they're trying to grow towards that. Whether they'll have enough time, though, this is the question. Do you get what I'm saying? Because there is still issues about the finances and stuff like that. Will they have enough time? I don't know.
let me ask you this: Do you feel like I overtalk too much?
Absolutely.
Too much? You think I talk too much?
Is that a trick question?
No. Stop.
He asked as well, like, do I talk too much? And she kind of laughed, whatever. And I'm like, listen, you see, Jasmine, every time, yeah, you're not sensible about the way you do certain things. Like, you do talk too much. I don't think Will talks enough. Like, I see the points where he has spoken, and it's because the subject is a mental aspect, so he'll talk, or you'll ask him a question, he will talk. But he doesn't talk that much. Do you get me? And then, so when you're looking at the situation with Jasmine, I noticed something as well. She has the ability to say stuff in the wrong moment. For instance, at the dinner table with the 4 groups, when Pascal says, anybody touching? And said, we ain't touching. And I was like, this is just like he did on the dinner table when he said, oh, he doesn't believe in the financial gender role, whatever.
The end. So everybody's touching. That's a good thing.
Okay. We don't touch.
Well, almost everybody's touching.
It's like, bro, Jasmine, why are you always trying to blaze, man, in public? It's not necessary. Don't embarrass your man in public. Do this behind closed doors if you think that's the case, but don't do it in public, because you just show a disunified team. And it actually looks bad on you too, because you're not unified. And you get what I'm saying? It's supposed to be you two becoming one, and you're not unified. Deep what you're actually saying to yourself about the situation. You know, I always say as well with them two, who will give him first? Will he give in to her body demands and then she'll give in to his stimulation of mind? Or will she give in to the stimulation of mind and then he'll give it to her body? Somebody needs to surrender. That's what I know. Somebody needs to surrender in this situation so that, yeah, that they can both move forward. Do you get me? But if they don't surrender, nobody's going to move forward. And that's the maddest thing. So, yeah, guys, you know what? Little black book, you already know what time it is. It's a bit mad. It's a bit mad. It's a bit mad. But just here giving you the new lowdowns. With the Married at First Sight. Listen, if you like what we do, like, share, subscribe. Let me know your thoughts down below. What do you do? Do you agree? Do you disagree? I can't wait for the next episode. I think next episode's gonna be live-o. Listen, stay locked, stay loaded. A giggy, you ain't got the mineral, and you're muddy, you're lean. Little black book, you know what time it is. Alright, heaven forever, baby.